Hey, welcome to the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Saturday morning ready to give you some feedback on your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
The official weapon of the show is
folding chair.
And the unofficial sport,
Bullet ball.
And Bullet Ball Extreme. Today's the episode where we talk about your thoughts, because you guys did have thoughts. Okay, you had things to say. And we were like, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and take care of that. Let's go ahead and think about what you guys had to say and see what we can do. So we're going to go through your comments on our website, votes in our poll. We're going to go through your YouTube comments, your emails, your voicemails, all that stuff. There's so many ways to be heard, and it can all be found in the show notes. Mm-hmm. But there are people who just give us money, and we like to shout them out as well. Because, you know, they didn't have to do that, but we appreciate that they did take the time out to do that. So let's give them a shout out.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tithe to the Black Guy Who Tips.
New bills, new thrills. Let's see who's hooking us up this week. Laura F., recurring donator. Chris from Hawaii as well. April G., we appreciate you. Tabitha M., Corey the Tickler, thank you. Alexis H., thank you. Marlon B., yes, Marlon B. Wonga from down under, all the way across the world. Thank you so much, from Australia. And lastly, Tiffany B. Thank you, everybody that took the time out to donate. We appreciate you. And we also got one new 5-star review from Awkward CC. Says 5 stars. This is my emotional support podcast. Aw, I like that.
Oh, emotional support.
You know, we're just trying to help y'all get through it, okay?
Yeah, sometimes you need it.
Yeah, I have mine and
I do
TV
too.
shows and all that stuff. So if we can be that for somebody, I'm always happy to be that. And that's all the 5-star reviews. So we can go ahead and get right into the comments on these episodes. 3124 Walmart with the slave pins. We had 11 comments on this feedback show. Appia says, politics until we get mad is a great segment and a real service. When you do it, I feel understood and think, cool, other smart people are seeing it. Good. I'm not going insane. That's by having my views. And also, you are seeing it, talking about it, and are making it fun when you decide to move on to other segments, because it's okay to still laugh and find joy elsewhere. It's okay not to make the terrible politics the only content of our lives.
Agreed.
Yeah, I feel kind of like, the people who just only cover politics, I mean, they either have to be going through it, or it's just like they're so cognitively disconnected from like what's happening that it's like, I don't know how you cover it without spiraling out, because it's your one job, and then you're, you know, on TV or on your podcast or wherever, just writing about it, talking about it. I don't think I could live like that, man. Whew.
That's it's a lot, because there has to be a balance there. So I'm assuming it has to be an on-off switch that you must have, and it can't be on all the time, because, not trying to be funny, regular ass people who ain't on TV, some of them are on all the time, and you can tell, because like you say, they spiral out of control. It's like, hey dog, like, you've got to separate yourself from this. This cannot be the only thing you consume.
Right. And then, you know, I know it's just a job for certain people, but I think maybe a lot of people, if they're like us, are not in a place to hear you do just a job. Like, we don't want to hear you, you know, with this kind of like, oh, this is just kind of like business as usual, or
and
hey, it's messed up, but hey, you know, whatever. It's just, hey, let's talk about the next funny thing that Trump did or whatever. I think, like, you know, CNN and your panelists and all that stuff, those shows, I would imagine those shows have to be suffering somewhat if people are on the same wavelength as us, where it's just like, I'm not watching y'all debate when I know that the people in charge are actually going to just take people's rights, and all y'all debate on TV isn't changing anything. Having the conversation on your podcast hasn't changed anything. We're good.
Right. And also, I feel validated in my feelings and how I feel. because like stories started coming out and they started saying a lot of political podcasts and a lot of particularly left-leaning political podcasts and a lot of like left-leaning like you said news shows. They was like their ratings just tanked after the election, and they was saying they're having a very, very hard time bringing people back. So I know that I can't be the only one that's like I'm not in the mood for jokes. I'm not in the mood for ha, like you say. I'm not in the mood to have a conversation that ain't gonna make a fucking difference. I'm not in the mood for YouTube cover stories that actually don't matter. I'm gonna keep that real, like, you know, and it's one of these things where I know it's a job, you're doing your job. I'm not stopping you from doing your job, but I realize I am no longer the audience for that, because I don't have the patience that I used to have. I all my excuses are gone now, so all this left is the truth, and the truth is a lot of the things that y'all do is bullshit, and and once my eyes were open to that, I tapped out. You're not going to have me panicking all the time. You're not going to have my anxiety high all the time. You're not going to have me sad all the time. You're not going to have me depressed all the time. I refuse. So I just tapped out.
Yeah, it's interesting we haven't heard many updates on that, because I know right after the election there was like, oh man, ratings are really down for everything political, but I wonder if they've gone back up or if they stayed down or if they've gone down even further. I'd love to see like somebody do an update about that.
I would too, because it's going to be interesting, because I know for some people that was a temporary thing, and I get it, and I think for me, I'm not trying to be funny, I thought it was a temporary thing, but it's turning into something more permanent for me. Because I have gotten to a habit of not listening to these shows at all, and I have no interest and no feeling. There's nothing gnawing in me to make me want to go back. And I'll just say the things that I want to hear, they will never cover it.
The German laugh exchange rate is a different one. It's true. I'm very proud to know that when I face, for example, a very serious German administrative employee in an office, they will still laugh and let their human side out in the interaction. It comes from dealing with customers, physicians, people used to be in charge for 2 decades, and getting something like an additional sense for an entrance to the sweet person behind the hard German shield. Sean says members of the disaster-baiting punditocracy have still not apologized for the part they played in the 2024 mess.
Right.
Not only that, they're doubling down on the idea that it was all Biden's fault. They continue to lie about the fact that there was a primary and Biden won. Yeah, I really, truly cannot. I can't listen to people like that. I know that it's, you know what it feels like? It feels like, I've never even seen this movie, but it feels like, when they talked about how the band played on the Titanic as the ship sank. It's like, bro, we are way past like playing the same songs that you've been playing.
And guess what? They drowned.
Yeah, but this is an emergency, and y'all are still trying to be like, isn't this kind of like Biden's fault for like, you know, whatever? It's like, if you would apply even 50% of the scrutiny you have for Biden to the Trump administration, your TV shows would only be about that all day, because the outrage and the constant conversation and the worrying and all that, it should be about Trump. And it's like they're not doing it as much anymore. It's like, well, this is what we got, and if anything, I'm not going to be worried about it. It's really somehow the blah 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 the Democrats. They continue to say that the annoying guy Fly, who got half as many votes as Biden, came within a hair's breadth of winning the primary. Yeah, Bernie's never been able to get out the primary, and that's a big deal.
Yes, it is, and it cannot be ignored. It's a glaring hole that people act like doesn't matter.
They just want to, like, honestly, if they had their way, they would have. The way that they claim the Democrats just like pick a person and put that person into the presidency, which is such bullshit, because when they were picking people, they didn't pick Barack Obama.
Right.
The Democrats have a democracy. They run a democratic, so whoever wins is who the fucking people chose. And it doesn't matter if the establishment Democrats, older Democrats, people with relationships, voters with relationships, it doesn't matter if they like that person or not. The end of the day, when they go to the poll and they vote, that's who wins. And sometimes it goes against what they want, and sometimes it goes with what they want.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they're not the ones going, we were cheated out of an election, somebody stole this. They take the L when they take the L. They take the W when they get the W. And I think a lot of stuff that people think is like gotchas aren't gotchas. Like, all these Democrats that are older and established weren't with Maldani or Magdani or whatever how you pronounce it in New York, and he won. That's proof that they don't put the thumb on the scale. They can come out and endorse somebody, but that's not the same as coronating somebody. They're just going, I think you should vote for this guy, and then the voters can go, I don't agree with that, and I'm going to vote for whoever the fuck I feel like voting for. That's very interesting that is seen as like some sort of like, we got the Democrats, we stuck it to them. I'm like, that's the process.
Yeah, that's the process.
And Bernie could have benefited from that process. Is my point. Like, he would be president if enough people truly did fuck with him. End of the day, they can't change how people vote. So if it's something about his message was not popular enough with the right people for him to win, and instead of people looking at him and going, how do you cater this message to make it better, which is what y'all do with every Democrat. Every Democrat has to have a message that makes everybody everywhere feel good, no matter how racist they are, sexist they are, homophobic they are. It's supposed to make everyone feel good. And yet Bernie it's like, fuck you didn't vote for him, fuck you motherfuckers. Okay, all right,
all of a sudden it's cheated and the process is rigged and all these other things, and and it's one of those things. And I will say it because it's a fact, he's not a Democrat, but every time he runs for president, he's always ran on the Democratic Party. There's a reason why all these third parties and all these independent parties, when it's time to run for president, like really run, nobody runs independent. They actually select and actually pick a party for a reason, because they know that the third party is not valuable. And that's why I don't want to hear people when they go third party. You do something, you create this party that you've been claiming since I was a kid. You do it. If nobody's going to do it, we have to live in reality of the system that we have, and it is a two-party system. And it did what it was supposed to do. And like you said, instead of him going through the process and accepting it, everything was rigged and it was cheated. No, bitch, you lost.
Well, at that point, it's not even a two-party system. He's in the primary for the Democrats. So, like, anyway, I don't want to revisit Bernie shit every fucking time his name comes up, but whatever. He got his ass whooped thrice. Get over it. He's not the savior of the party. He's just an annoyance. That being said, I want to thank all y'all for your contributions to the discourse. Your politics segment is radically reasonable, and your choice to end it when you get mad is very responsible. And sorry for any comment I made that may have been misinterpreted as a suggestion that Karen was less than brilliant. It was not intentional. I apologize for the possibility that my comments seemed disparaging to Karen in any way. I will seek to be more cautious with my wording moving forward. Oh, it's not just you. I mean, it's kind of interesting because there's this thing that happens. Y'all write in, tongue in cheek. I think I respond to it tongue in cheek, joking back at y'all. But it is written many times. It's not voicemails, so I can't tell if y'all are receiving it as a funny thing. So like, I hope this apology isn't real, in that not that I hope you don't have like if you meant it, I mean, I'm sure, hopefully it's sincere, but I hope that this is also part of just kind of joking with us, because I was not actually mad at anybody.
No.
Hot Dog Gate has been a fun distraction.
Yes, it has. It's been hilarious, and sometimes I think because of us going back and forth, and sometimes I think because, like you say, when people hear us talk, what we say and even if it's in a joking manner, but how it's heard can vary per person, because everybody's senses of humor is all over the place. But yes, to me, I have not taken this serious at all. Even here in the household, it's literally been a big ass running joke.
Yeah, I bought Karen some pizza the other day, and the place I went had mac and cheese as a topping, and so I got mac and cheese on it, and then I took a picture and put it on our Instagram. Was like, can you guess which slice is Karen's? So like, it's been fun to us.
Yes,
I think,
it has.
And I don't think we play that rough, but yeah, I don't think we play that rough, but I don't know. I think, and sometimes I do go back and forth with the listeners. Sean's one of those people, but I think from over the years of commentary that it's because he has a good sense of humor. So,
right.
I'm hoping that you don't.
Eve, yeah.
Yeah, I hope you didn't really think you offended any of us or whatever. I think it's just funny when people said, you know, like Karen can't order the hot dog, Rod. That's your job to save her from
her from herself.
Yeah, that's funny. To me that's funny. It's like what you're really saying is that Karen is so dumb. Miss Barnes says the snob in me voted no in the poll. What was the poll? Let me see. Is your local Walmart nice inside? Okay. And I put nice in quotes because I knew some of y'all would try to get super technical. Nice is a thing that varies per person.
Yes, it's subjective.
I knew some of y'all would be like, even in a clean Walmart that's in a good neighborhood with no fucking slave pens.
They're like, it's Walmart.
Y'all are going to be like, ugh, never me. So I get it because I was much the same way until Target forced me not to be.
Right.
I went to a neighborhood Walmart to pick up some items in the store. There was a wine tasting. Keep in mind, I have been to many a wine tasting, but I've never seen a wine tasting that included barefoot wine, random ass box wines, and any other cheap $8.99 and other under offering. And bless the brother who was doing the pouring. He could not tell me any tasting notes and just looked like he was pouring wine against his will.
Oh no!
He might as well have poured out some old English and called it white wine. Damn.
Poor thing. If you're gonna do wine tasting, the person need to at least have some knowledge about what they pouring, what they giving you.
The fact they had a wine tasting was something, bless their hearts. Yeah, so you voted no, but to me, I would have voted that is a nice Walmart. Because they don't do wine tastings, even for cheap $2 chuck or whatever the fuck.
They sure don't.
They don't do that in the Walmarts. By me, the wine is behind a lock and key, you know.
Like everything else.
Nev says, yeah, the downgrade in our Seattle Targets is definitely a post-pandemic thing. Some of them used to be super nice, but not anymore. They went downhill crazy fast the past 5 years. They've closed some of them down entirely, and they're always meddling in our local elections and politics too, so I already had a vendetta against Target before any of this boycott stuff happened. Rona Raphael says, I was on a drive from Amsterdam back to my base in Deutschland listening to this episode while getting my weekly frying from my good brother Rod. Then I thought about the last time I set foot in a Walmart, probably before the pandemic, so I voted no. I recently discovered a Japanese store with prices in Walmart range that are excellent for my walking goals. See, you can't go wrong with my leadership. Walk with me. We're going to sing Hail Mary together. All right, well, at least he didn't call himself the Paravai Quran or whatever.
I do not respect that name. I'm just letting you know, yeah. Rona Raphael.
EB says, I live close to the 4 Walmarts and 3 are white and 1 is black. I like how stores can be white and black and we all know what that means in America.
Yes.
We all know. We don't have to be like, what do you mean? A store can't be black. It can absolutely be black.
Yes, it can be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you can have name like we down here we have Kroger's and you can have Kroger's on this like you said that are white that's black but it's still Kroger though.
Yeah, they're not all the same. And nope. I noticed the black one has all the baby formula hair care products and basically every hygiene product behind the plexiglass. So I only go to that one if I'm in that part of town. Mm-hmm. They do our people so dirty. Yes, they do.
Yeah, and then what was it, CVS or one of them Walgreens or one of them came out. I think it was CVS and was like, hey, we realized that locking shit up cost us money. Yeah, because I have been in places seeing shit locked up and will literally, I can have a cart full of shit. And I've actually walked out before because I don't want to wait on nobody. I don't want to call nobody. Okay, depending on how I feel, I'll be like, oh, you ruined my experience now because I got to hunt somebody down. I won't purchase anything from here. And I've left a lot of stores because of that.
And it's in the time when a lot of stores are understaffed.
Yes.
So you really have to wait on somebody. And in a time where after the internet, people are very introverted and weird about talking to people. There's so many people that like make text but won't make a phone call, won't do FaceTime. So like the saying you have to actually go speak to a human being just to open up this key, to get the key to open up this thing. I feel like a lot of people probably are like, fuck it. And they did say, statistically that shit has hurt their sales.
Yeah, but and the thing is, for me, it stops my interaction. Like I don't mind interacting with people, but like I said, I'm shopping. I just want to get my items. Like you said, everybody's understaffed, and a lot of times there's nobody around you. You have to hunt down for somebody. And then you might be in the extra, 15 to 20 minutes and all that shit. You're like, I would rather do something else.
That's what I just said. That's what I just said. It's the people just don't like. I just think you're taking a big chance. And now we know statistically that it's been proven. Like, It's not good. And then arbitrarily, it feels like y'all do that shit in places where black people live, which is crazy because you know who steals the most in this country? Fucking white people.
Not us.
White people be shoplifting and shit all the time.
Like crazy.
Target had to open back up regular registers and close self checkout because white people will just fucking take the shit, man. And I hate to cast those aspersions, but it's fucking true. It's not a big deal. They don't go to prison for fucking shoplifting and shit like us. They're not getting targeted. It's not. They're not getting followed around the store. Like, racism is so fucking stupid because of shit like that.
Though?
But yeah, she says, but once I was in the white Walmarts around Christmas and was randomly hugged by a man in a Santa hat who smelled like he shit himself, and I have to say it's not an experience I care to have repeated. I don't think that's the Walmart experience. I think that was a one-off.
That was a Santa experience.
I don't think Walmart hired a shitty Santa to hug people. I think you ran into somebody that was
had some issues.
Bottom line is every single Walmart, whether black or white, you in there at your own risk. Well, that is true. Nick Jew says, sorry to extend hot dog gate another week. And Karen, my baby, you know I love you, but mac and cheese was not a side, it was a topping. If I worked at a hot dog place that offered mac and cheese and someone ordered one with everything, I too would include mac and cheese.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, I completely understand that. I do. And when I said everything, that's why he asked me like several times. It was like, you sure you want everything, ma'am? And I was like, yeah. He was like, even mac and cheese. I was like, no. Well, then I didn't mean everything. So that's the thing. And it would be surprising if I had other people ask for everything. And they'd be like, you sure you want everything? Like everything. And most people like me think about it and be like, no, I really don't mean that.
I honestly doubt people say everything, but I think Karen was one of one.
I am special.
They had, because we were in line. We've been that place a few times. I've never seen anyone order one with everything. And they have, once again, I put the picture on our Twitter, but they have the hot dog examples in front of you behind glass, like this is this type of hot dog, this is this type of hot dog, that's what we offer. So I doubt people are making that mistake.
It's just me.
It's all good. Yeah, it was funny because it's just you know. I don't,
right, one of one.
Some people just can't relate, man, but
and I'm used to being one of one. I'm okay with that.
Also, and Rod, you know I love you, and I know this isn't your doing, but it was like someone turned on the Nick signal as the official Bay Arean of the show. I had to write in to say food doesn't slap. I knew you felt the E40 signal go up into the sky. I know that Earl Simmons that light shine into the middle of the bay.
What was that I heard?
And here come Nick Jew. Nothing but music slaps. Yada mean XO. I don't know if I said that right because I'm not from the Bay and I try not to like steal no slang that I am not familiar with. So I apologize if I fucked up. It looks like yada mean. But if I fucked it up, I'm sorry. But it's good to hear from you, Nick.
It is.
Appia says Walmart lost out in Germany as far as I remember because and also thank you for, writing in with the correction. Nothing wrong with being corrected. Walmart lost out in Germany as far as I remember because people, this Appia, because the German unions are strong and wouldn't let them exploit people so much. The European competition and cultural problems. Germans really don't like singing motivational chants in the morning and other corporate motivational methods. I mean, who does? I don't see the Black Eyed Peas family liking it. I've never worked at Walmart, so I don't know anything about this singing song shit. That being said, I've had jobs where you sang songs, it just wasn't motivational. Like we used to sing Happy Birthday when I worked at IHOP. And I think we couldn't sing the official version because of some copyright shit or something.
They make you sing whatever their version of it is.
Yeah, mine was Happy Birthday from the IHOP crew. We hope it's your birthday. Like that was it. Mary says, I also wanted to thank you for continuing to cover political news. To be honest, for the moment, your coverage is the only one I can listen to right now. Until media can be honest and say what the real thing is and admit their complicity in this mess, how do we even start? I know.
Right.
It's so ironic that we're in the same place that right-wing people who said you can't trust the media out of a, bad, the media's gonna woke because the media was spitting facts. It's kind of weird that I feel like they moved the needle so strongly that our media, because it is actually a business that is for profit.
Yep, and not about news.
Because that's what its main service is. It did the customer is always right approach, which I think it's pretty obvious to see in the way things are covered and who's allowed on TV and what they talk about. Like, you have decided that you want to appease and court the dollars and the attention of people that honestly think you're a piece of shit, and that your corporations are biased because you won't just tell them the same things that Fox News or OAN or whoever tells them. And they're never gonna ever come over there. But what you have done is made people like me go, I can't watch Scott Jennings argue with 4 people that are scientists or reasonable at least. I don't want to see that. And
right, so
I don't feel that that's a thing that is good for me or the world.
Right, and so it boils down to what we said before. Your audience is nobody. Like you're not satisfying anyone, because you're not pulling in the audience that you want, and then you're losing the audience that you have, trying to appease the audience that you will never get. So your audience ends up being nobody. There's going to be some people just going to stay no matter what. But people like me, I'm leaving, and I'm not trying to find it. I do not know if I will ever come back, and that's the honest to God truth. I was really crushed and hurt and very disappointed in a lot of the news media outlet that I've trusted and went to for things. I was one of those persons that was really, really plugged in and kept up with shit like daily, and things like that. And also, it had even got to the point where they started covering stories. They was like the news medias had become, people had got so many sources from like the national news media that they were saying it became almost like a disadvantage to local news media, because everybody would do, like you said, your CNNs and all that stuff. Then they'd be like, hey, what about your local shit? And nobody could tell anybody about their local shit because they was so focused on the national shit. It impacts you, but what really impacts you is local things and like your local news. Now everybody has a podcast, so I'm pretty sure wherever you are, there's some local forum, in your state or your county and stuff that covers things. But people, like you said, they're so focused on like the presidency, like these big things, they act like the other things didn't matter, and they all have been impacted by this shift and by this change.
Yeah, I also just think the only people left watching that stuff is people that are just kind of addicted to it.
Agreed. You addicted.
But yeah, back to this. Last week you articulated so well how saying we're Democrat cannot be seen as something to be embarrassed about. It reminds me of the LA mayoral election here, where the knock on Karen Bass is that she was a career politician. Is that so bad? It means a career public service, knowing how the system works and forging alliances. Yeah, I think it's so weird. It's such a weird thing to do because it's not something we do with any other job. Right? So like, for example, if I tell you like, man, don't listen to this guy's podcast advice. He's been podcasting for 20 years. People be like, no, definitely want to hear what he has to say. He probably knows a thing or two. Like, well, give me the book they wrote. I want to find out how to fucking do that. But like, politics is the one place where like, oh, you've been doing this shit for a while. Fuck you. No way you could be. Clearly something's wrong. And it's like, well, they've been through scandals, corruption, and I don't mean them personally. Like I've had so many scandals of corruption. I mean, like, they've navigated that. They've been around for terrorist attacks. They've been around for whatever emergencies and stuff. Like, that experience does count. They've talked to people. They've met people that are constituents and voters. Like, I think it was just something, we really lost something when we started dismissing that. And I think that's how you get Trump, is we dismiss the value of knowledge and know-how because we're so cynical and we're so fucking over it, that a guy like that, a snake oil salesman, can sneak in by going, well, let's take your argument to the extreme. You guys say experience is bad. I have none. You guys say knowing how the system works is bad. I don't know how it works. And when people go, yeah, bringing change, now you got the mess we have now.
Yeah, and also that like you say, this is a new thing in my lifetime, because experience and expertise and knowing your job used to mean something. But now people act like, well, you know how to do your job? Yes, bitch, it is a good thing I know how to do my job, because I have experienced enough ups and downs and traps and inconveniences and all that shit that you have not experienced yet. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with being inexperienced as long as you're willing to learn. But the problem is that people don't want to learn. They just want to come in and just be in charge. And you're like, well, you haven't earned being in charge, but you want to be in charge of some shit that you don't know how to run.
Yeah, my problem isn't with the inexperience per se, right? Like, even
Right.
the people that we're talking about that are career politicians, they started without the experience.
Right.
But it's just the lack of appreciation and value for knowledge, expertise, competency. It's like, we're just rock and roll, shake it up, man. Fuck it. It can't, whatever happens can't be that bad. And that's a very scary place to be, because look at how fucked up it got. So she goes on to say, this almost led our city almost voting in a billionaire real estate dude who was being framed as a maverick. Yeah. I was listening to a podcast, I think it's called like Bill Maher, something about Bill Maher, like Bill Maher sucks or whatever. They don't like Bill Maher. And they're from like LA, and then he had a guest on, and he's like going over Bill Maher's show, but of course they get into politics of their own and things they believe. And like that billionaire guy was a guest on Bill Maher that week, so they were giving their commentary on him. And you know, I'm listening to these two white dudes who, you know, shitted on Barack Obama earlier in the show, which is already like red flag for me. And then also they started shitting on Karen Bass, and then they started, and one of the guys like, yeah, but this other guy, he's this billionaire real estate guy who's been like, he had some other scandals and shit in his past. And the other dude's like, well, hold on, I liked him and I was gonna vote for him, and let me tell you why. And I was like, no, turn this shit off. Like, you can't
Right.
you can't be stringent with your politics and all this shit for like the black people, and then very lenient with the white people. They get to be a bit corrupt and a bit loose cannon and a bit of a maverick, but you know, Barack Obama wasn't mean enough in office. Like, get the fuck out.
Some people said he wasn't black enough.
And Karen, thank you for continuing to voice your anger at those people who forced our candidate Joe Biden out of the presidential race. I'm still pissed too, for real. Fuck them forever. I hope Joe and Jill are enjoying their grandchildren, having a good life.
That's what I said. Like, yeah. Like I said, I know, you know, people have to suffer enough, but that right there is probably gonna be one of the last things I want them to give up, because I am warm about that thing.
YouTube comments. Ricardo says, Rod and Karen, keep doing what you are doing. Love your honest takes on politics, movies, sports, etc. Rod, love you on Urban View with Karen Hunter on Fridays. Y'all are the best. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, baby.
Provocative as fuck says, that's true as fuck. Politics till we get mad is my ish. I love the whole show, but politics till we get mad is my favorite. Y'all are fire, bro. Keep it up. I'll never stop watching. Damn, thank you. Like I said, that one means a lot to me, because that's one of them ones where I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I hope this works.
I hope this works.
Dirk Nam just says, good feedback show. Thanks. Winky face. Thank you. Jazzy Sunflower says, I feel Joe Biden should have stepped down much earlier. VP Harris did not have enough time to run her campaign. I saw her in Charlotte. She truly energized the party. Just imagine she had another year to do that. I hear what you're saying, and that's fine. I mean, if you're saying if he was going to step down, I wish he had done it, you know, a year before or something, so Kamala Harris could have more time and all that stuff. I completely can understand that from a like what do we call that, theoretical standpoint. I can completely understand that. I would disagree though, and here's why. I think her only having 100 days made it so that the country rallied behind her. There was a lot of energy. It was extremely popular. Because she lost, there has been a lot of revisionist history.
Yes.
I don't think there's a thing her campaign could have done to win. And I don't think, and this is the part where and this may be what some would call cynicism, I call realism. I think if they had more time, her campaign would have been worse.
I do too.
I think there would not have been as much urgency behind that campaign. It would have been just as much complaining, if not more, people eroding the goodwill.
All the
There would not have
commercials.
been a mandate because of the lack of time to say, hey, we are doing this, get on the fucking bus, let's go. It would have been a lot of like, I don't know, what about this person?
Yes.
And I don't like that. I also think if they would have held a primary, if they would have done a primary, I think she would have won, which is something that's the unspoken thing that no one says when they're like, they should have held a primary. What they really mean is They should have held a primary and picked someone else that wasn't Kamala Harris.
That's exactly what you. Yes.
And I'm saying I think she still wins a primary, and I don't think all the negativity of Democrats going at each other would have boosted anyone. I don't think who comes out of that unscathed and on top, and everyone's rallying behind them. I think a lot of people come out of that and they go, "Well, yeah, but did you hear what?" I don't know. Did you hear what Gretchen Whitmer said about Kamala? That's why I'm not voting for Kamala. I don't care if she did win.
Yeah, that's why that's why all the big names in media was like, I'm not. Like, they was like, just stop the bullshit, y'all.
Like, and that only happened because we had 100 days.
Right.
I think if you have a year, Gavin Newsom steps in. Gretchen Whitmer has thinks about stepping in. Bernie Sanders probably steps in. When they lose to Kamala, because she did have, in my opinion, she had the vice presidency. And she also had she still had the popularity of this newfound popularity of being like, oh God, it's not Biden, thank God. So I don't think they win, but let's say she loses, because this is the other thing that some people believe. I think if she loses, the black women vote and black people in general are like, fuck whoever won this.
Yes.
I'm now considering not voting or sitting this out. I'm not enthusiastic, not because they even were like, I just love Kamala Harris so much. Some, sure, but a lot of people, it's not about that. It's so when it's the black lady's turn,
we want to
all of a sudden everyone comes out the woodworks, and now she ain't the president, she ain't gonna be the candidate no more, and I'm supposed to get excited about Gavin Newsom, right, Gretchen Whitmer, Pete Buttigieg. I think you guys, well, Jazzy, I don't know what you think, but I'm just saying in general, when I hear that line of thinking, I believe it starts backwards to, there was a way to win, we just didn't do it. And what I believe is that there was no way to win. And I even feel that way about if Biden stayed in. I don't think he would have won. I think when I look at these results, I see a bunch of people who wanted Trump. They wanted this.
Yes, they did.
And everything else is like an excuse, because enough of the quote unquote good people, they weren't either afraid of Trump or they were not willing to go out and vote, period. I don't think they were going to. A lot of people feel safe in this country, and I don't think they felt.
Yeah, they do.
They felt endangered after 4 years of Trump 4 years ago, and they were like, give me this old white man. But I just don't know that they feel that way after 4 years of Democrat-run government. They're like, I think it'll be all right. Okay, that's what we do in America.
Yeah, that's what we do in America. That's how people forget. That's how we got Barack Obama. We didn't get Barack Obama because people wanted Barack Obama. And actually, at the time, a lot of people prefer Hillary Clinton. So I don't know why people act like, things were just given, and they were not. As somebody who was alive, during that time, we was at a catastrophe, and people say, well, damn, I guess we vote for this nigga. That's normally how it is. That's when the shift changes. It gets so bad that people were like, damn, I guess.
Alicia says, what? Who don't like Justin? I love hearing Justin on Balls Deep, mainly because he be saying what I think, and yep, I said it, LOL. I think people love Justin, but it's just, my point is there's somebody that don't like everybody. There's people that listen to our show and don't like one of us or both of us, and they still keep listening.
They still keep listening. I don't know why you here, baby.
I don't know. Cali Bro Mike says, what up, Rod and Karen? To try and add to your point about people who are trying to sell a bag of goods that Joe need to step down, all while they were shitting on Kamala. These people were trying to so hard to talk about the danger with the second Trump term, but the dumbest shit was that they didn't want Trump to win, but we can't get behind VP Harris. These motherfuckers were the fucking problem. White Republican with 3 Ks. Members don't give a shit about how bad, ignorant, and damn wrong their candidate is. They stand 10 toes down on the symbol, but motherfuckers claim to be Democrats. They can't shut the fuck up and soldier through to the finish line and force the candidates to get the shit done they want. Yeah, but they are afraid of hard work with resistance, but they're not talking about the destruction of shit with Trump. Last thing, Jim Corner of the I don't know his last name, Jim Corner, or the Iowa Center, who is about to be 90,000 years old, is running for office again, and all these white Republicans are going to vote for him because they know he is a puppet for them, and he'll do the shit to destroy anybody else's way of life. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. And that's why when I don't listen to people when they say Democrats need to be more like Republicans, because to me, I'm like, Democrat voters need to be more like Republicans. And when I say Democrat voters need to be more like Republicans, I mean, you got to fucking sack up. We probably won't even cover it on the show because it'll be a few days before we get to it. But like, they were mad at Barack Obama because he said Democrats need to toughen up and stop navel gazing.
They do.
And I'm like, number one, y'all beg this man to speak every motherfucking day of my life. The second day he's like, listen, y'all, and what did I say? God, I've said it so many times. You keep begging Obama to speak, you never like what he has to say. So why are you I don't believe you when you're like, he need to say something. Why? When's the last time you said, man, I appreciate what he said? Never? Okay. So why do you keep begging for him? He's not your fucking daddy. And then the other part of it is, when he does say something, to me, a lot of it's real talk, and nobody want to hear it because they have their own hangups. But a lot of his stuff is, to me, real talk, where it's just like, hey, I hear what y'all doing with the protests and all that shit, but you're gonna have to vote. I didn't want to hear that. He's not your fucking dad, and he's not an activist. He's the fucking president. He got elected. He believes in that shit.
He does.
So maybe don't ask him about the political sphere if you don't want to hear something like, hey man, shut the fuck up and start voting and stop bitching all the goddamn time. It's not helpful. Stop looking at what we quote unquote did wrong and just get out there in the streets and fucking start doing talking to the people and getting out and promoting your agenda. Like, stop doing all this. Oh, looking to party, looking at myself. It's what about us? Stop. It's not helping. And then they go, fuck him, man. So I don't know. Just drop another one of those best songs of the year list. Let them be mad at that, because y'all don't really care.
Nope.
The poll: is your local Walmart nice inside? 40% said yes. 50% said no, and then like 11 or 12% said I don't have a local Walmart.
Yeah, a lot of them closed.
Well, not just that. Some people ain't even in America.
Oh, that's true too.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the next episode, but I gotta play some music so that we can throw a commercial in here. 3125 FUI. We got 5 comments. Appia says Stephen Miller has done so many awful things. Calling him out for his wife supposedly cheating on him and saying he doesn't control his woman enough, and not exactly a progressive thing. What would be the solution here? Call him out for his cruelty he causes, not something his wife decided to do? I mean, that seems like an easy solution. I don't mind people getting dirty with him. I just, like I said, my point wasn't about, wow, I can't believe Gavin Newsom would go so low. Have you met me? I don't care if motherfuckers go low. No, my problem is you will have Steve Bannon on your fucking podcast, you piece of shit. I don't want to hear that from you.
I don't want to hear it.
You can't be Mr. Let's have a conversation with the awfulest people on the planet that are obvious white supremacists, but also, but if this guy's wife's getting fucked, what are you talking about? That like, let's get some consistency here, man.
Yup.
Anyway. Appia says FUJ is Polish language for the word you use to express disgust. Seems to also fit this situation because the title was FUI, which is fucking under the influence. Sean says no offense to the disasterbation punditocracy who messed up the election and yet to take credit, but you two, Rod and Karen, are the premier foremost political journalists of podcast. Yeah, I don't know about that, but thank you. Y'all are right so often that you have your own music for it. Well, that's true.
We do have our own music now.
Maybe we're political prognosticators more than journalists. Come back to how I started this point. I want to retract that. All the offense to the disasterbatory punditocracy, they are fucking morons. They deserve no respect in all the offense. Black Caesar 21 says, hey, Karen and Rod, just wanted to chime in and say, fuck Andrew Schultz. My previous job allowed me and a coworker to basically work alone in our office. They would usually play brilliant idiots. I'm not a fan of Charlemagne, but he was always able to get good guests on their show. I can uncomfortably say that I've listened to every Brilliant Idiots episode up until 2018, so I'm very familiar with the shift that Charlemagne and Andrew made politically. Schultz has always hidden behind the facade of not being racist because he grew up in NY around all the other cultures, but he constantly made racist jokes on the show, and Charlemagne was right there to egg him on. He's definitely the type of dude who believes he can't be racist because he fucked black and brown women. When Trump announced his run in 2016, Schultz began drinking the Kool-Aid and began his pivot to the alt-right and began the "yeah, but he's funny" bullshit. It got so bad that they literally had an intervention episode to try and pull him back from going too deep down the alt-right pipeline. His nickname for at least a year was Alt-Right Andy. Charlemagne used his influence to get him interviews with other popular podcasters and linked him with Joe Rogan shortly after he had a successful comedy special roll out on YouTube for free. The Rogan appearance in COVID-19 was a nail in the coffin for any of his sensibility, and he's been an insufferable bad faith actor ever since as free speech absolutist type. Anyway, it was an eye-opening experience to see someone go down the outright pipeline in real time. Take care, love the show. Thanks, Black Caesar. That was very informative. Here's my thing. Where are all my free speech guys? Where they at? Where Joe Rogan,
y'all ought to be
Andrew
up in
Schultz
arms right now.
Where y'all at? Because in addition to locking up citizens and locking up immigrants for protesting, in addition to suing media outlets for just publishing fact-check true articles about the president, in addition to that, Stephen Colbert lost his job. Now, look, there's other factors at play. I'm sure we could get deep into why his show is about to get canceled. And it's probably not a direct Trump thing, but I'd say it's not helpful.
Agreed.
And it never has to be direct evidence for you motherfuckers, you conspiracy-laden motherfuckers, to believe that something fishy is up, something's afoot. But yet, CBS settles with Trump. Stephen Colbert says something about that in his on his show that is chastising his own network, and then he gets the news that his show's not getting renewed 3 days later. That's way less steps of a conspiracy than all that ivermectin bullshit, and yet you won't see Joe Rogan, you won't see your Andrew Schultz, you won't see Theo Von, you won't see these people standing up. Bill Maher, bitch ass, won't be standing up to be like, hey, that's too fucking far. Okay, this is not free speech. Nah, you went to the White House and hung out with your buddy Trump, and it's just our fault for not knowing who he really is when he's not, behind the desk taking away our rights. EV says, as an anime junkie, isekai is one of my favorite subgenres of anime. Anything isekai, I'm watching it, even the vending machine one. My favorite is that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yes, I'm actually on the 3rd season of that right now. I watched and I stopped and I came back, and now I'm continuing on. It's a really long series, but I've been enjoying that one.
Title sounds silly, but the main character is OP.
He is OP.
Another couple goes, for those that don't know what OP is, Karen.
Overpowered.
There you go. Another couple good ones are ReZero and Rise of the Shield Hero. Yeah, I watched Rise of the Shield Hero. That's good.
I think they're on their 4th season.
Karen, I have a few recommendations for you that I think you would like, that give off a cozy slice of life vibe. Ascendance of a Bookworm and
I started that one.
Campfire Cooking in Another World.
Yes, I'm ready. I watched that one too. They're making season 2 of that one, and it should be out probably about August or September or so around, and later on this year.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that one. In fact, I rewatched that one.
Yeah, you're not gonna name an isekai she hadn't seen, guys. You're not putting her on; she's putting you on. I'd also recommend any anime with the word villainous in the title. Most of those are isekai with strong female leads. My favorite is My Next Life is a Villainess. All routes lead to doom, and the female lead is so silly but enduring.
Yeah, I've got a lot of those queued up, and a lot of those are, well, it varies. Some of them I like. She got isekai to like a kingdom, and some of them I've seen a lot where they got isekai into like a video game, and their character is the villainess in like the video game, and they've like played the video game or read the book, and so they, some of them lean into it, some of them run away from it, so it just varies, and it can actually be some of them are hilarious.
Andrew Scholes is in fact not sorry he voted for Dump. He's sorry that when Dump eventually loses favorability, he will be remembered as one of those idiots who platformed him. I think he's being performative and doesn't give a fuck about what's going on. He cares about how he is being perceived. Fuck him, and I hope he gets painful hemorrhoids. Maybe he never have a painless shit for the remainder of his days. Yeah, I agree with you though. I think that's what everybody on these microphones, that's what we're in the business of, promoting ourselves really. So I'm not really shocked that somebody like that would be how do I pivot myself out of this. I don't know, man. I just mostly look at the people sitting next to him when he's doing this stuff, like, how do y'all really just sit there? Y'all don't ever challenge this shit? Y'all don't ever question it? Y'all don't ever, like, y'all don't have any convictions or anything? Like, y'all just sit there along for the ride, happy that his rising tide is lifting your boat? And I'm sure there's people that have left, but I don't know. It's like people don't leave and go, man, fuck that dude, let me tell you, he ain't shit. Like, people just kind of leave and
disappear, right?
The next black dude steps up to
don't nobody know what happened to him either.
To wear the cancel comedy shirt and nod his head along, you know? It's like, are your opinions even valuable over there?
They're not.
Anyway, Michael Velli says on YouTube, after Trump won on JRE, one of the excuses for endorsing him was, well, Kamala didn't want to come here, so I didn't get to know her as a person. Man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, right? Nelson says, in reference to the folks like Andrew Scholes, I refuse to give them the benefit of the doubt to think they're fools that didn't know better. He knew the character of the man he voted for. Agreed. In fact, he has lived in New York City for 40 plus years just like me. He just doesn't care, and is only going to defend on the defense because the heat is too much for the fire that he fed the kindling to. That's a deep line. Damien says, with everything that ticked off the Project 2025 list, you get a lot of that revisionism from a lot of people. Scholes, Rogan, Loomer, even some of the dim side, Clooney and Sanders. Yes, a little integrity would be nice and go a long way in moments like this. Dark Nandra put in quotes, tiny cauldron of rage, laughing emoji. Because I think I described Karen as that. Nick the scientist says, referee draft, hilarious. You are in your bag today. Thank you, Nick. Aleska says, hey guys, so earlier this week I'm in the gym sweating, taking a break because I'm sore. I'm seated on the jump box and I started staring around because there are a bunch of fine women in that section, all doing core exercises. My mind starts to wonder, then out of nowhere I have the strangest thought come across my mind. What did Rod and Karen have to say about Drake's fake abs? Did I miss the episode? I don't think so, because I rarely miss y'all's show, but I can't seem to remember y'all's take on the whole thing. Almost all my faves, Van and Rachel, Kev on stage, Jenkins and Jones had their takes that very week. I think we took that week off.
I think we did.
Secondly, and also, like, when you take a week off in a pop culture show like we have, certain things that seem like a big deal in pop culture a week ago, it almost feels silly to bring them up a week later when no one's talking about it anymore.
Right.
So I think the abs thing for me was like I chatted on my group chat with people, made, retweeted jokes from people, but like by the time we were hitting the mic, say that next Sunday, I don't even think I was thinking about the abs. Secondly, speaking of Gavin Newsom, didn't he used to do a podcast with Marshawn Lynch? I went and checked, and yes, he had the politicking podcast with Marshawn. That, by the way, hasn't had a new episode in 6 months. I wonder what his target audience was for that one, for that first podcast, but imagine the new podcast that started 2 months after the first was a response to the new admin and his new strategy to cultivate centrist and flimsy right-wingers. Love y'all. Have a great remainder of the week. Now, Ella, you know what I would watch? The Marshawn Lynch, Gavin Newsom podcast, and then they bring on the right wingers. You know what I'm saying? Say that shit to Marshawn face. I want to see how he react. Hopefully he don't even gave me the vibe of a coon, so I feel like he might be a good representative.
They might be in trouble. They might be getting ran over and over and over again.
Inez says 3:48 a.m. Thanks for sharing and keeping me informed. All right. Jason says you'd hope that once and for all people would realize that Andrew Scholes types are simply front runners. The only way you swing from Trump to Zoran and AOC is if you absolutely have zero convictions about the stuff you're out here saying. That's what I'm saying. It's all a fucking game.
It's all a game.
It's just a fucking game. Our lives are a games to these motherfuckers. because you're not talking ideology. And the thing is, and I know people were like, I don't want to give him the benefit of calling him a fool. I think he is a fool.
Yep.
Like, he's complicit and a fool. He does not seem like a smart person. And a lot of people use not being smart as a brand, because what normally happens when you say you're not smart is you have zero accountability. So like, they're smart when they want to be, right? They're brilliant when they want to be. They're idiots when they need a cop out. And so I think that's interesting in that, you know, your podcast is sitting around and thinking deeply and talking deeply about things, even if it's not because you know all the policies and ins and outs, but that's what you do. Is I want to have these conversations, long form conversations. And then the second someone goes, yeah, but what you said was fucked up or it was wrong, it's like, whoa, why are we holding me to some standards? Fuck you. There was some grade A banter on this episode. The referee draft is wild. I bet instead of coming up on stage and dapping up the commissioner, they will come up on stage and get yelled at by Draymond. Also, the docs do seem disproportionately crime-ridden.
Don't they though?
You know, crime is happening if the meeting is taking place at the docks and the warehouse, or if it's a black show, the spot.
Wherever the spot is, and yes, the warehouse is, and the warehouse is normally a big ass building. It's just a big concrete building.
You know how in the NBA they have the shot chart with all the dots for each player shoots from? On a crime chart, the dots would look like Shaq in the paint. All the dots, right? According to Hollywood writers.
A bunch of X's there all over the place.
The poll was, should Ken Paxton's wife have to stay in the marriage, yes or no? 60% of y'all said no, 40% said yes. I voted yes. You can't
follow them rules.
Yeah, y'all be trying to be like, give her the feminism benefit of the doubt, but I'm like, nah, I need you to stay miserable, both of y'all. Take my rights one day and then be like, but I can't believe he betrayed me. Anyway, back to hating blacks.
Right.
The next episode was 3126 N for a penny, N for Pound Town. Shoe Booty says the thing that always comes to mind when someone brings up Ricky Henderson is this bit by David Cross from the 2000s, and it's a YouTube link that is a bit you can click on it on the website, guys. But it's 2 minutes long, and it's not long, but check it out. I love David Cross. He's one of my favorite comedians.
He's hilarious.
Abia says, impressive how American people know the names of medicines because of the direct-to-consumer ads. I'm afraid to even name one of the products in the safety of my home, and writing even a product name here would feel like a sin, and I'm sure a compliance agent would immediately appear at my door. Hello, Apia. You know why I'm here. We need to talk. We heard that you disrespected our values and are disappointed. To punish me by mandatory hours of education and ethics and our values, and by having me write notes to file for days. Good that middle management here has the way higher standards than the American president. Agreed. EVE says, I think people may take hurricanes with black names more seriously for sure. I'm not sticking around for Hurricane Daquan or Hurricane Jaquavius. They sound like they don't play. Mm-hmm.
Hurricane LaQuisha, you might be in trouble.
I think when they say it, they should they shouldn't even say like we're expecting this hurricane. They should say Hurricane Daquan is looking for y'all. Okay, just letting you know it's out here and it's trying to find people. It's not. This not one of them passive hurricanes.
It's not knocking on at your door.
Hurricane Daquan says it wish a motherfucker would stay.
It's doing a drive by
at the beach.
Right. Stay your ass at the beach if you want to.
Hurricane Jaquavius say y'all got the wrong one today.
Or maybe you got the right one.
Well, find out at 11.
Yes, find out at 11.
Walmart does indeed sell sex toys, which they keep in the person.
Hurricane Sequisha said, Table's gonna be moving. You fuck around with her.
Right. Y'all better stop playing, they said, and then they hit the landfall.
say when you say the hurricane say oh crap, I forgot. The hurricane said come on outside if you want to.
Yeah. Walmart. Yeah. Say come outside, we not gonna jump you.
We not gonna jump you.
Walmart does indeed sell.
I won't blow you away.
Walmart does indeed sell sex toys, which they keep in the personal hygiene section. I found out the hard way when I was walking down the aisle and the lady was taking a dildo out the box and then proceeded to stuff it in her pants. What? I minded my black ass business. What is happening at the places you go? Didn't the shitty Santa Claus hug you too? I minded my black ass business and turned around. Later, while I was at the checkout, I saw cops come in and talk to the manager. I assume it's for that lady. Rona Raphael says, only you can drop an episode where a human fell into a meat grinder, but over an hour after listening to this episode, I'm still processing the Walmart sex toy heist and butt crack splits pipe shenanigans. I am going back to school to become an ethical butt professional immediately.
Oh no.
Rachelina says, I don't care what the Uno is in the Uno and casinos news isn't true. You know it's happening in some universe and dimension. Well, not the one we live in.
I know.
Sean says, Elmo voice. Okay. Elmo grabbing assault rifle from the popo and it's PO because of the hack and losing his butt plug. Elmo has a particular set of skills and the ex-MAGA hacker best have his head on a swivel. Elmo is coming for you.
Oh no, Elmo.
And Elmo. Let's see what we have on YouTube for comments. We got 14 comments. Okay.
What the hell are we talking about?
My mom says you crazy about the best Jerry curl athletes. She said I think y'all got a new segment, Rod and Karen's weather report. I don't even remember what we said about the weather. Oh, the storms. Yes. Nasty Knack says, as a Walmart employee, the adult toys are usually in the pharmacy by the KY jelly and tampons. They're usually locked up, so you'll probably be waiting for days for someone to unlock it. Just order online. Dog, I can't imagine asking somebody to unlock like a sex toy.
Right. I would just order it online.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Can I get somebody over here? What do you need help with? I need some products that are locked up. Okay. What section? Over by the personal section. The personal section. What is the personal? I need a pocket pussy, sir. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Can you just I just need you to come unlock the pocket pussy for me.
They probably lock the lube, all that shit, you know.
No, the lube is out, I think. It's
okay.
But he's saying the sex toys are not. The dildos.
Okay, that's the right. And so that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I would rather walk into like an old school porn store.
There's not enough self checkout in the world. I can't, and then I know they're gonna get there and be like, oh, this doesn't have a sticker on it.
Price check. Yes.
Price check aisle 7, pocket pussy. This gentleman can't get any pussy, everybody. This gentleman right here sitting to my right, he is a loser. One commercial says,
price check, two-sided dildo. Price check, two-sided dildo. In the pharmacy.
Got a real freak. You need somebody a manager to get here.
Right. All across. You be like, you know what? Y'all keep it. I don't want it anymore.
I need a price check on anal beads. We got a manager here.
Right.
Most Gen Z. One commercial says suicidal thoughts, says Nita Nell. A lot of them commercials say suicidal thoughts. Suicidal ideation. That's a heavy one, especially for antidepressants. Because I guess like if it don't work, it can go the whole other way.
The opposite. Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely in those commercials. SH93 Till Infinity. Shout out to 93 Till Infinity. I love that album. Souls of Mischief Forever. Most Gen Z kids don't have a good work ethic, but it sounds like that 19-year-old was chomping at the bit. Cue the CSI Miami bit. Okay, this. There you go, buddy. Good job.
Won't be fooled again.
Donatello says they need to expand hurricane names to black names. Hurricane Shaniqua, Jamal, Daquan. And then None of Your Business says, you mean Chantal don't qualify? Hurricane Chantal was black.
Come on, Chantal.
I'm waiting on Don Tavius to roll up there. Black hurricane names.
LaQuavius, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I think someone just said that in the last one. Tag Earl T10 says, for the gender wars, I give it 0. However, for the hygiene wars, I give it a solid 4.5. The edits were good. Yes, there are various POVs, but not enough disgust or condemnation from either side to incite the necessary rage bait for virality. The comedic banter is what gets the repost. Peak hygiene wars tend to be when white people start telling us their bad bathing habits, or laundry detergent companies suggest we're using too much product. That's true.
Too much. You never like, y'all clothes are too clean. What?
That was never missed on social media.
They always make the round several times a year.
That's the best.
They
Ramsey
be like, y'all using too many Tide Pods, and people be like, bitch, fuck you, I use 5.
Right. Yeah, it's the best.
Right.
I feel like they should have to do that once every 4 months just so we have something to talk about.
Yes.
Ramsey PH Dunn says Karen took me clean out with her banter about Blue Moon and the orange slices. 5 stars.
That's how I feel, because I watched that commercial. I was like, damn, I don't ever get that hallucination when I drink Blue Moon.
Any commercial with sentient food I don't like. Because like the M&M commercials. Am I eating those little adorable motherfuckers? What's the goal here? Because now I've grown attached to them and I don't want them to not be around. So stop telling me that.
I guess I'm a cannibalism, because I be like
cannibalism,
yeah, because I will eat the hell out them M&Ms.
None of your business says y'all forgot about Michael Spink's Jerry curl. That thing prevented concussions when you get knocked the fuck out. Pissed Tyson off. The problem with Michael Spinks is that I know Michael Spinks from getting knocked out by Mike Tyson. So he might have been the shit before that. Unfortunately, at my age, the main thing I remember seeing him do was getting knocked out by Mike Tyson. So I wouldn't put him on my top 10 list. But maybe I need to do some research and be like, oh, okay, he was the heavyweight champion at one point or something. But right now, he would not go on my list. No. Please consider adding former Toronto Blue Jay George Bell to the Jerry Curl list. Ah, yes. First off, he's Dominican. Second, he can fight and did. I am thinking this could be another segment. Anyhow, love the show. And then they attached a YouTube video of George Bell getting in a fight. So, but yeah, I forgot. I left him off the list. Like I said, it was off the dome. So
yeah, plenty we missed.
Yeah, and like I'll write him down now just in case I do decide to write about this, so that I won't forget to do the research. Ron1359 says y'all need to do that Jerry Curl list for real. Damn, everybody want this list. All right, the people have spoken. I'm gonna figure a way out. I'm gonna get it written. This is a unique, fun perspective and one of the best ideas I've heard for these top 10 lists. Yeah,
because it's fun.
I wrote a list a long time ago. It was a lot of posts. It's still on our website, the Blackout Tips. But it was the blackest NBA players of all time. And it was one of my favorite things I've written. It didn't really get the traction that I would have liked it to get because obviously it's just something I wrote for our website.
Right.
But it did get like some people that commented and all that stuff. But yeah, it was the blackest NBA players of all time, or at least as I remember them. And like, I'm just going to read a little bit. This is from 2011, so it probably need to be updated. Charles Oakley, notoriously cold on a white woman. Oakley has made the rounds off court. He once threw a ball at Tyrone Hill's head in a pregame shoot-around because Hill owed him money on a bet. Tyrone Hill wasn't even on Oakley's team at the time. The funniest part is that during the same year, Oakley smacked Tyrone Hill before a preseason game, and they were both kicked out of the game. And to top it off, he's been Jordan's wingman in the club for years, going back to when MJ was still married. Manute Bol. Just look at him. He's as dark as a Tim Burton movie. Then throw in all his outstanding charity work for African causes and his positive attitude that came straight from the gods must be crazy, and you got one of the blackest players in NBA history, Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson. If I told you that Big Shot Jax likes to smoke a Newport and take a shot of cognac as a pregame ritual, wouldn't you believe me?
I would.
Exactly. And that's not even bringing up the shootout in Indiana or the fight in Detroit. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA, and I was ecstatic when the Bobcats traded to get him. I have no doubt that Jackson shows up to NBA games about 10 minutes before shoot-around starts in socks and flip-flops with a black and mild under his headband. Chris Mullin. I
ain't heard that name in forever.
Yeah, first of all, he's white. Chris Mullin. First of all, I can't understand a damn thing that's ever come out of Chris's mouth. Can you? His GM tenure can only be compared to Jordan. He was rocking the high top fade back when Kid and Play was still kicking it. Much like Rex Chapman, who also made this list too. He only dates sisters.
I love me some Rex Chapman.
This list was stupid, but it was so fun.
He really said this list was stupid.
Because the joke, the real joke of here to me on my list is that blackness is basically undefinable, and that what makes someone black, quote unquote, varies, because for some people it's like he did so much charity, he from Africa, he's dark skinned. For other people it's like, I mean, look how he talk, he get his hair cut at the black barbershop, that's a black man. Like, it was all jokes, but anyway. So yeah, maybe I will write that. The poll: do you usually round up for your purchases when asked?
No.
89% of people said no. Only 11% said yes.
Yeah, and I think for people, I actually heard them do a podcast kind of about this, and they were saying that what they do is like they use like for the embarrassment, and some people get in their own mind because one of the people that was coming through, they're like, if you talk to me, I was like, this is stupid, but when I'm in a situation, I panic, or I feel bad, or I feel the pressure, or somebody looking at me, or I don't want to cause this person is trying to do their job. They act not trying to funny. They don't give a fuck if you do it or not, actually.
Right.
But we get in our own mind so bad, we want to have the appearance of a good person, that I think for some people they just feel that pressure to do it. Some people actually like, I do it because I want to do it, but I got a feeling more than 11% is because somebody's looking at me, they don't flip the tablet my side, or they just ask me and I panic and I just go, okay.
Right. I agree. I've had that happen a couple times where I just panicked.
Me too.
And was like, oh shit, here's $1. But normally I'm like, no. If round up is the one I always say no on.
Yeah,
I've never rounded up. Fuck that. Anyway, next one.
Because nobody ever asked you to round down. It wouldn't benefit nobody, but you know, they always ask you to round up, but bitch, ask me to round down every now and then. I would say yes, please.
You know what? You're right. I agree. I want
everybody go up.
Ask me that, okay? I'll tell you what. We play the luck of the draw. Sometimes you ask me to round down. Sometimes you ask me to round up. Now maybe I will round up every once in a while. I'm like, you know what? You guys did hook me up that one time. Go ahead, get that 33-cent player.
Get that change back.
You know what, dog? Take that. Get rid of that. Research that scoliosis on me. It's on me today.
Right.
That scientist can have a lunch. He can big size it. You know what I'm saying? I got you. All right, we gotta go to the next episode. All right, last episode of the week, 3127. Medical debt is back.
No.
9 comments. Appia says most people aren't heroes. You're right. I know I'm a less a rule follower than most, but still, when there was a chance for me in jail for months, I probably wouldn't risk it.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. I would have said, I mean, and hopefully it's not offensive to you, but I would have said you're one of the most rule followingest people I know. Virtually through the internet. Like, you won't even say a medicine name on here.
Right? Without being afraid of having extra paperwork.
I think of you as Mrs. Rules. If you think you're not following the rules, I can't even imagine what people that think they following the rules is doing.
Right? I'm fucking up then.
They be driving 55 on the speed limit exactly.
Shit, they might be going 54.
I'll get on the highway. I set my cruise control to 55 exactly.
Not a mile over.
Or under.
Won't get me, officer.
Rachelina says, I appreciate Karen's point in response to the news about medical debt. Going back to credit reports, I interpreted her point being that before the ACA, the lack of access to insured medical care and economic impacts of that, such as the cost, inability to pay, followed by the impact to one's credit score, was more severe. Folks responsible for their dependents' medical care pre-ACA know this in ways that people who started to take on these responsibilities when the ACA emerged do not.
Right. Like your kids had to be kicked off when they were 18. A reason why I know, because I was one of the people. I was 18. My mom was like, you have to get, I can no longer carry you.
Right.
So when I turned 18, I was literally thrown into the system, had to come out of my pocket, had to do all the I had to do all that shit on my own. Now people have the privilege of having their children on to like almost
25.
25. And so your kid is able to go off to school, go off to college, handle these things. When I was in school, you didn't have insurance, you had to go to the infirmary and all that shit. Like, so I guess for me, that's was my interpretation. Like, right. Prior to that, the rules were a lot stricter, and you do not want to go back to that. You don't want 18. You got to kick your child off. Now your child is literally out there on their own.
Karen made an important connection between the current circumstance where I was reporting on the historical pattern shifts related to it. As someone in her early 50s, this context she added resonated with me. And I replied, I agree, and I appreciate her point as well. Clarity is important because if I hadn't clarified that this new ruling was not the same as taking away the ACA or even taking away anyone's insured status, right? Because it's about medical debt. It's not actually about your insured status.
Yes.
Another listener would be writing in and explaining the difference, like we didn't know. That's the only reason I felt it was important to make the distinction. She said, thanks, and I agree. Your points complement each other. Yeah, and I'll get into this in a second because somebody else left another comment. But, like, that's a decision that we have to make on the show all the time, and it's off the dome. We're having an actual conversation. It's not planned. I don't know what Karen's going to say, and she doesn't know what I'm going to say.
I do not.
And so sometimes she'll say something and her mind works differently than mine.
Yes.
I don't always follow her points from A to B to C. And so sometimes I'll ask for clarity, and I assume some listeners are probably asking for clarity, or like, are we talking about the same thing, or do they not realize Karen's talking about the ACA and that's different than what Rod is talking about because he's just talking about medical debt and credit reports, blah blah blah. So sometimes I will make the decision not from a place of animosity or whatever, but to be like, can you clarify? Like, what? Okay, well, I hear what you're saying, but do you recognize I'm saying something different, even if what you're saying is valid? It's just not the exact same topic. So, like, because I don't know if Karen, sometimes Karen doesn't feel like commenting on whatever the article I thought was interesting. It's like, all right, well, next article. And then sometimes she's like super interested and she can go on her own. She could do her own fucking thing about it for 10 minutes and bring up a bunch of shit I didn't know and be like, oh, damn, I didn't know they did that. I don't listen to that podcast, like whatever. So sometimes in those situations, I think what people hear is clarity, like me being like, can you like, this is what I'm saying, is that what are you saying? Are you saying this? Because I'm taking what you're saying is not the same as what I'm saying,
right? And
I don't think there's any conflict in that. I don't think there's any tension in that.
It's not.
And it's our relationship. It's a very secure relationship. It's a very long running relationship. So I think for a lot of people, especially you listen to a man talk to a woman, many times men just dismiss women's fucking comments or dismiss their acumen or whatever, or they pick fights with them and shit. We're not doing that. And that's, the space is safe for us to be able to be like, can you clarify? It's not an attack, and vice versa. Karen has asked me, maybe not recently or maybe but whatever, or maybe she doesn't and y'all don't think it's a big deal, but Karen has asked me to clarify, like, well, what did you mean by this exactly?
Yes.
And it's not an attack. I've never taken it as like, oh, here we go. I take it like, oh, this is an opportunity to expound, because my assumption is we are kind of stand-ins for y'all. Meaning, if I don't understand something, there's some of the thousands of people that listen to this, somebody else didn't. They were like, what does she mean? And vice versa. If I say something that I think, cause especially with me and Karen being married and talking all the time, there's stuff that
we have our own language.
Karen will reference something, or I'll reference something. It's actually related to a conversation y'all never heard.
Yes.
So it'll be like, that's why Karen all the time starts sentences like, well, it's like you said, and it's not something y'all heard me say. Like, it's not from today.
Right.
It could be from like, we was in the car and I was like, damn, did you see that car? Why they got that weird thing on it? And she's just like, it's like you said, cars be having them weird things on it. And so sometimes if I can catch it in real time, I'm like, oh wait, what she means is this, or oh yeah, so you talking about blank, to catch y'all up. I'm caught up. Like, I could do the whole show and we could never have any back and forth. It could just be like, no, next topic. But that's not a real conversation. And also, we are doing this for the benefit of an audience.
Yeah, and also the thing is, I appreciate the clarification. Because like you say, sometimes you say things and how the thought flows in your mind and how it comes out can be kind of separate sometimes, and you might not be expressing it right, or you might not have the right words. So when you ask me to explain, it makes me confirm, and it forces me to explain in more details what I actually mean or what I'm actually trying to say, so that I can articulate myself much better, because this is the audio podcast for most people, so that they can better understand what I'm actually trying to relay or relate to you, or you might be trying to relay and relate to me, because I do. And the thing is, it's probably just the way I do it. Most people don't see it, but I ask you to explain stuff or
all the time.
But because it's the way I'm doing it, it's different than the way you do it to me. So and also I think, like you said, people are sensitive of the way a man talks to a woman versus the way a woman talks to a man.
Yeah, and I think it can be frustrating to be asked to clarify something when you're kind of flowing. Like, I get it, we're all humans, but it's never like, I've never felt there's no animosity in it, is what I'm saying. It's always to seek to foster a better conversation and a better show, period. It's never anything other than that.
Agreed.
Even if we were to disagree, I want to disagree on the grounds of understanding each other completely. I don't ever want to, and that's not just a Karen, that's anybody that come on this motherfucking show, for the record. If we're gonna disagree about something, let's be explicit about what we disagree about. If we're gonna agree, let's be explicit then too. But like, that's the, so, you know, sometimes those conversations get a little bogged down, but I think it's worth it.
I do too.
AJ says elections have consequences. Oh, and also I appreciate you writing in to say that you appreciate that Karen made that point, because that's important too. Because as a producer brain, because I'm fucking doing the show, producing and hosting at the same time. Producer brain, Rod, there's all kinds of shit happening y'all don't see.
Yeah, in your mind. Yeah.
You know, is this going on too long? Am I talking too long? Is Karen talking too long? Is this clip too long? Is this listener thing too long? Should we move on to the next subject? Did we say everything we were supposed to say about the last subject? Should we go back to that subject?
Did we forget something? Yeah.
All that shit is happening, and we're also having a conversation, and we're also making this podcast. So, like, you know, sometimes when things go differently than the script I had in my brain, because obviously other people are involved, and even when it's me, it don't always go to the right script. When it goes differently, like my producer brain is like, should I control this? Let it go. Don't do nothing. I don't know. Say something. Don't say something. It's a lot happening. So, you know, I appreciate when y'all write in, because sometimes I'm like, okay, that instinct to be like, can you clarify, or here's how our points differ. It was valuable to somebody because it made them be like, yes. And I see what her point is and how that's going to be an even bigger part of this discussion. Because the reason I'm honestly even clarified the ACA thing versus this insurance thing is because I think we're going to have another one of these stories not too distant future about them fucking with the ACA. Yes. And I just want people to see, like, it was steps. It wasn't just, fuck, man, we don't got health care. It's gonna be steps to erode this shit. Because if they're willing to cut people's Medicaid and Medicare, man, I don't think they're stopping. Everyone thinks the ACA is safe. I don't know, man. And I think, you know, this same Supreme Court that's like, you can't forgive student loans will absolutely be like, but you can say, fuck them people's health care. That's my belief. Anyway, AJ says elections have consequences. I live in Indiana, which has a Republican supermajority. We elected a disciple of Trump for governor. I worked in education, and because of federal and state funding cuts, I lost my job. Not a week later, I was billed for a surgery that I had last year and potentially will not be eligible for Medicaid and Medicare because services are being cut as we speak. I know that these cuts don't take effect for another couple of years, but I hope that at the end of my layoff period this October, and that Medicare and unemployment compensation services will be available for me. But with these fools, it's not looking good.
Right.
And I'm sorry that happened to you, but it's very real.
A lot of people are going to be impacted by a lot of these things, because a lot of times when people lose their jobs or for whatever reason, all of a sudden you go through this window where they want to give you COBRA. Can't nobody afford fucking COBRA, but there used to be a time where they didn't even offer COBRA. Like, COBRA, not trying funny, COBRA is fairly new. A lot of people fail to realize that. Everybody like, this shit is expensive, but at one period of time, you didn't even get the choice to try to come out of your pocket for insurance. They be like, you lost your job, I guess you ain't got insurance today or tomorrow. You just SOL, type of thing. So the fact that, it's a law that they have to offer you COBRA is something fairly new. A lot of people, they don't understand that because it hadn't always been that way. And then you look at it and you have a lot of people where they be like, so go to grace of God, there go I. You go, okay, I guess between me losing this job and me getting a new one, I hope nothing happened between that period of time. I'm going to be out here willing it with no insurance because I can't afford COBRA.
Evie says, while white gender wars is elite because I believe about half of them are real because they usually come from accounts where the woman has made her entire personality about being a trad wife, and then they'll make a video complaining how their husband won't lift a finger to help around the house, or they do something really egregious, and the comment section will say how horrible the husband is, only for them to make a second video defending the husband. I've seen that before. It leaves you to wonder which is it. There was a TikTok trend where it's just they're mining it for content. So
mining for content. None
of us knows what the fuck be happening in people's houses.
Right. It could be all made up. Nobody knows.
I'm sure there's influencers that are getting like domestic violence and all kinds of shit that they're not, but that's not the product they're selling you.
Right.
And then there's other ones that probably have perfectly fine,
functioning,
great husbands and great relationships, but they sell you relationship drama. None of us knows what's real.
Yes.
There was a TikTok trend where the wives or girlfriends would tell the guy to pretend they're another woman, basically acting out how they would respond if another women hit on them.
I have seen that. Not that, but I've seen it where, like, the dude come in, and I've seen it for men, and I've seen it with women where they would like pretend like they have like a prop or something or something. And to me, those are the weirdest videos.
Well, not the prop. I've seen. So I think you're describing the videos where it's like a man sitting on the couch and it seems like he's making out with a woman, or a woman's laying there.
Yeah,
that's not what she's talking about.
Oh, okay.
She's like, they come up to their husband and it's like, if I wasn't your wife, if a woman walked up to you basically and was like, hey, what's going on, handsome? And then it's like they're supposed to react like, you know, I'm married, ma'am, leave me alone. And so people make videos spoofing that as well. I normally see the spoof stuff. I don't see the original like serious ones.
You see the spoof stuff.
I always see the jokes, like, and I love the joke ones where it's like there'll be like a woman to walk up. It'll say like how your wife expects you to react when a woman tries to holler at you.
Yes.
And it'll be like the dude like driving his car like 80 miles an hour down the street, like, get away from me, I'm married, leave me the fuck alone.
Run the woman over shit. Yes.
Like
put a mush in the face.
Yeah, like I do like those little.
Those are now those ones are be hilarious.
Those are like the dad jokes of social media to me.
Cause they so over the top.
Yeah, they're over the top. They're corny. They exist on these weird, outdated gender stereotypes and stuff. But I still enjoy them. They're very funny.
Yes.
For the most part, men would push the woman away and say, I have a significant other. Well, one white guy literally spit in his girlfriend's face like hawk spit. Ugh. The comment section was up in arms saying how disrespectful that was and he doesn't like her. Then she made a video defending him. Couldn't be me. Yeah, well, I mean, she hit upload. So my guess is either he freestyled that or more than likely he had her consent to spit on her, so she would go a little more viral than everyone else who had posted the same video, and it was exactly the same as the last video. She needed to up it a notch. And so, yeah, the problem is if they're really together, and because that's the kind of shit that the internet will find you and dox you, get you fired from your job, whatever. All of a sudden she gotta come and do damage control and go, no, I love him, it's just a video, guys. I was telling him that joking. Yeah. Now what y'all probably really discovered is that they be doing some freaky stuff. They be spitting on each other in the bed, but that's not my business.
That's a private thing.
Sean says, silently erasing 5,280 word explanation on how smokeless grills work. Nothing to see here. See, Sean gets it.
That's hilarious.
Sean gets it. Rona Raphael says, AG Letitia James, another name that disappears whenever them low info or bad faith actors want to argue about what are Democrats doing, and they should just hand it over to young people in the solution. The amount of legal wins by that woman is astonishing, and at the same time it's always fascinating to see the same people throw her name in the race for New York State governor, mayor, and everything. Is she performing or not? Because they make it sound like only AOC and Mom Donnie, who nobody knew before he ran a great campaign and won, are the only Democrats functioning in New York State. Everyone else is terrible, right? And it's like you said, low information earlier. It's honestly pop culture entertainment, but it's disguised as politics for them. It has real implications on our lives, but I think I've said it many times at this point, but people want their politicians to be celebrities and their celebrities to be politicians.
Yes, and that drives me fucking insane. The celebrity has no power when it comes to how politics works.
I just wish that these click-hungry media folks would recognize that it's not a weakness of the Democratic Party to have Letitia James, Jasmine Crockett, Baltimore Mayor Westmore, podcast Callie Gov, Shapiro, Al Sharpton, AOC, Schumer, and Mom Donnie amongst many under the the same umbrella. I'll take that over MAGA any day. By the way, I don't fuck with
Agreed.
Democratic Socialists for the role they played in November last year, but I like to win over GOP focus. So focus alert if you know or you know. By the way, or if you know, you know. By the way, Orca's Protective Services is also available to any billionaire trying to waste money on elections. Let's meet on the sea. All right. You almost made it through.
We almost made it to the finish line. That's hilarious.
Couldn't stop himself from hustling. He had to add that last sentence.
I gotta sell something. That's how that went.
Shoe Booty says, similar to the medical debt, the New Jersey Supreme Court ruled that hospitals must provide care to people despite their ability to pay. Hospitals are big mad at this ruling because they're all, this is unfair. Who's going to pay for this? They're all so close to getting the point. Right. All right. And then YouTube, we got 15 comments. Okay. Wow.
Oh, before you go on,
Yes.
they go, who's gonna pay for this? What is the alternative? Y'all let people die in the street?
Well, that's what she's saying. Like, I think she was trying to say, like, that's why we need like universal health care. Like, y'all are so close. One more step. And it's not really blaming the hospitals. It's just like systemically, obviously, what we need the next step to be is someone should pay you, and it should be like the government. It shouldn't be about, anyway.
Agreed. Okay, I'm with you now. Yes.
Let's see, comments on YouTube. Dark Nam just says, I don't want to know the science, laughing, probably about my smokeless grill comments. He said, we had some smoke detectors that were so sensitive we couldn't do oven pizzas without setting them off. Same here. Ours was that sensitive. I had to turn on the oven fan just to open up the oven to get the pizza out. Now I did clean it with some oven cleaner and stuff, and it stopped doing it as much. But our smoke detectors are very sensitive in addition to that. Dark Nam just says Trump is going to use people like Lil Woody as an excuse to take over Atlanta.
That's hilarious.
A 187 instead of a video. He said Richard Harvey says, I wish y'all's message of needing more Dems versus Republicans resonated a lot more than it does. Wouldn't have this ridiculous Supreme Court if we voted for Hillary.
Agreed.
I know. It's always
agreed.
There's no problem that has been helped by us not having Democrats.
Right.
I can't think of one. And the only time that possibly could have been true is when the parties were flipped back before the Civil Rights Act era. Like, it's no way in my lifetime that there's been any progress in this government for black people under Republicans. In my lifetime, period. And that's not my fault. It doesn't make me like a Democratic apologist or sycophant.
Sheep or whatever.
It just makes me real.
Right. I'm looking. You want me to die. You're at least trying. I'm gonna go with the person that's at least trying. It is that simple to me.
And I maybe it's a weakness of mine, but I'm not a person that really lives in theory. You know, like I don't theoretical conversations are valuable, but I'm not a person that lives in dreams in my head. I'm like, what is happening and what can we do now? What are our realistic choices? And
right,
you know, that's where I'm at. DMA 22 says, related to the medical debt and student loan conversations, I really appreciate when you and Karen talk about how voters aren't held responsible for the situation we find ourselves in. I find myself repeating this same argument. Mostly to those who are disengaged or on the far left. Not to give you more work, but is there a way to create a short for that portion of the conversation that I can share with people that go into Blame Game Olympics and start complaining? I'm literally thinking about creating a Venn diagram about how the lack of voting makes living in this country untenable. I've already started mapping out the Gore-Bush election. Yeah, the lack of voting is interesting, man, because people go, I don't feel like voting, then bad shit happens. They go, why didn't anyone stop this?
And that's why I tell people, I hate to hurt your feelings, but if you don't vote, I actually don't care about how you feel, because you opting out is a choice, and when you opt out, you're literally saying whatever happens, and I'm willing to live with that choice. And if something that you don't like, y'all are the largest fucking complainers, but you don't want to put in on it,
right?
And always got something to say. And there's always something wrong with the system, but you don't want to participate. I don't want to hear you. Not only that, if I was a politician, I have to ignore you because I don't even know how you feel, because you tell politicians how you feel with voting.
Right.
That's how you tell politicians how you feel. And so when you don't vote, you literally take your political voice away.
Right.
And so that's why I'm like, I have to ignore you. If you look me in my eye and say I didn't vote, I'll go, well, what are you talking to me for? I did. So I have the right to fuss about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I have the right to fuss about Donald Trump. I got the right to be pissed about the Supreme Court. I have the right to do that because I put my $5 in on this pizza, bitch.
Well, a lot of people have also convinced themselves that their voice is like their Twitter and their Facebook and their TikTok. You know what I'm saying? So like when you say voting is your voice, I believe that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think there's people that think, well, I got this TikTok voice. That's my real voice. It's like that voice has no power. Like these politicians don't give a fuck about that voice. Like they care about your votes. If that voice was attached to voting, then yes, they would care. But if you can't deliver any amount of votes, if all you can do is be like, but click on my content, give me that retweet. If you're sucking the dick of TikTok and Donald Trump because you're so addicted to it that you were glad he brought it back, you're already his bitch. Your voice, that tells you your voice don't have power because you're begging for it, for the right to use it. All right, next comment. Any nutritionist, the Nikiak says, any nutritionist will tell you energy drinks have no nutritional value. Right, sir. They have gotten away with highway robbery. Dragon2376 says, please stop correcting Karen. You both are great. Love the show and the topics. I like how passionate she is about topics. And then I said, when did I correct Karen? And he put a minute mark. So now we're going to listen to me correct Karen, guys. I would like to hear it myself because I don't remember. It happens so often I don't remember. Okay, I'm gonna be correcting people on our show. I'm that kind of person. All right, 1822. Let's see what happened.
Of debt was medical bills. Like if anybody filed for bankruptcy, it was because of medical bills. Like
Wait, what do you mean if they haven't lived long enough?
Well,
I feel like that was very recent.
That was in our lifetime. And let me see, how was that? Maybe 20 years ago?
Now, like last year.
I mean now, but it was worse before. Like before they started putting in the laws and the protections, it was even worse than it is now. Because now, like you said,
I guess here's what I'm trying to say. These laws and protections that I'm talking about have only existed a couple years. So they're repealing laws that happened under Joe Biden. So everyone who's hearing the it's the conversation about Karen was talking about. I was talking about medical debt. And how medical debt not being put on your credit report has only literally just happened. Like, so when she said, oh, people who haven't lived under these laws, I had to be like, wait, the laws I'm talking about are 2 years old.
Yeah, and I was talking about like,
and you're talking about the ACA Act. Well,
yes.
We know now, but you know why we know? Because I asked for clarity. And I wasn't, at that point, I'm not correcting her either. I'm asking for my own edification. What do you mean? Because I don't know. And I didn't assume, Karen, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I assumed she was saying something and I didn't understand it. And she would be able to explain it because she's articulate and able to explain things and has been on this show every single episode I've been on this motherfucking show. So I know she can do it. So yes. I don't know if it's like a coddling thing or like feeling like Karen can't do it, or is it just a hot dog gate again? I wasn't correcting her, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that was a correction.
And it's more of maybe when I'm talking and it's like I guess sometimes, and when you ask a question, which is fine, it's a disruption, which is fine. But like you say, what be federal, like you say, this is not an act, so nobody plans on these things.
And
so,
also, as a we disrupt each other all the time. I
actually disrupt him way more than he disrupt me.
Yeah, I really think a lot of it is the distrust that we have between the sexes. I'm a man. Me asking Karen a question is somehow an attack. I know y'all love when she gets passionate. I love when she gets passionate. She's gonna get passionate. I don't know why you're worried about that. It happens all the time.
I'll be back, baby. I promise I'll be back.
But the most important thing is it wasn't a correction. But let's say it was a correction. Let's just go to your point. I want you to understand something. As long as you listen to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast, we're gonna be trying to be correct.
Yeah.
There's no offense in being corrected. This is not a fucking ego play.
It's not.
I get corrected. I try to have the correct information for y'all. That's what the fuck is fucking us up right now. Is that everybody's feelings are more important than the truth. It's more important than facts. It's more important than being right. It's like, but it felt weird. Who gives a fuck? It's not about your ego. Sometimes you do get it wrong. Sometimes I'm gonna get it wrong.
I do. And sometimes, particularly, like I'll say something and which makes sense because you are like, I want to be in fact. You're like, well, factually, that's not true. Blah 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 blah. You know, and so I get that because, like I said, we're all human, and it's really easy if we don't watch ourselves to mix our feelings and start going off when like you said, they're not based in like the reality of what's really happening at that time. And so I do think, like you say, is I personally don't feel like if that's the clip, that's the example, it was more of I want a better clarification, or can you go into a deeper thought process for me so that I could better understand your process. Because like you said, like Right say, we were talking about two different things. So he wanted to make sure his clarification and my clarification were clarified, but they were also in conjunction to each other at the same time. Like both of them kind of impact each other, but we were actually talking about two separate things.
We're excellent communicators. One thing that y'all aren't hearing, that because you're not used to hearing, is I'm fucking listening to Karen, which is almost, it's been 3,000 episodes. I'm not even sure Karen's used to it. When she says shit, I'm always listening. I'm recalling things. I'm asking for clarity because I care. What y'all are normally used to is a very low quality radio and TV and podcast. Very low quality bullshit where they're just talking to pass the time. They get to the commercial break, they get to the hour mark, and they can't wait to get the fuck out of there. They don't actually care about you. It's the reason that people like Joe Rogan and Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz and all these people just reset every episode like it's the fucking Simpsons. They don't retain any information. They don't keep anything going. You bring on a politician, it's like you never fucking heard of them. You didn't do any research. They don't read the books that they have authors on to fucking promote. They don't watch the comedy specials that they have the comedians on to fucking promote. It's such bullshit. And so y'all are used to that. And I'm not you personally, but I'm just saying generally we're all used to it because people do low quality shit. I personally feel like we are a high quality show, and for part of what we do, I think one of the biggest hurdles America has, and maybe even the world, but definitely America right now, is the idea that it's about hey man, vibes, conspiracies, information that's incorrect, wrong days, wrong time, wrong facts, speaking as if you know about shit, like, and when you don't, people sitting there letting Andrew Schultz say things that aren't true, but they're so happy to just be on a camera with that man that they'll sit up there and let him say things that they know better than, because they just want to be around for that vibe, for that boost, for that dopamine hit, for them likes, them plays, them retweets. So my point is, our show's never gonna be like that, ever, and neither one of us is exempt from it either. It's not like we're doing it in an animosity way. We're not calling each other out. No one's being you stupid motherfucker. Like, we're just like, hey, wait
about it.
Right, it's wait. So that was 20 years ago. What are you saying? That's fine. And if you can't handle even that little bit of whatever, you just like you call it a correction. I wouldn't even call it that.
No, I call it for clarification.
If you can't handle that, dog, like, I don't know how you gonna make it, because that's nothing.
Oh no,
that's nothing, dog. That's
compared to other conversations I've had. Not with you, but just in general.
Well, in general, that's just nothing. Like. Yeah, I remember when people were floating the conspiracy theories around about, like, the CIA putting fireworks in the hood. Not on our show.
Yeah, doing COVID.
I hold myself to a higher standard than that. We're not just on here just bullshitting. If we do it, we do it in a just bullshitting ass segment.
Yes.
But when we're talking about news, it's important to be factual. I can't be on here being upset about how unfactual news and other media is and then do it on my podcast because somebody listening might feel uncomfortable. So no, I will not stop correcting Karen, and hopefully she won't stop correcting me. and vice versa. Like when we don't want to be corrected, we fucking say like, hey, I might be wrong, or hey, don't write in about this, but this is how I feel, fuck it. We let y'all know.
Yeah, there have been some things I'm like, this is how I feel, and sometimes I will even say, I know I'm being irrational, I know I'm being illogical. Like I've flat have said those things, because you have to be aware. But some people say things, they feel certain ways, and they're not even aware that they're doing it. But I try my best to be intellectually intelligent on certain things, you know, when it comes to like these feelings and these emotions and all those things, and being the reality of what I see, and not how I always feel. But how you feel does matter, and how you feel can cross over into reality, don't get me wrong, but your feelings cannot become the reality when it's not the real reality.
So he said she got a little mixed up with the time, but I understand where she was trying to go. Just give her a little time to get her thoughts out. No, let's just fix it right then, and then just keep going. Y'all act like she can't carry on a thought after that. Hey, wait, are you talking about this? No, I mean this. And then she went on for the next however long about the Affordable Care Act and what she meant. So no, you guys aren't good producers. I like Karen Hunter episode with you and Roy Wood Jr. on Friday. You and Roy are a great combination.
They are. They're fun together.
Thank you. And also shout out to Karen Hunter, because Karen Hunter will correct the shit out of something being wrong or
in a heartbeat, on the spot.
She'll ask me to clarify stuff all the time. Now I just happen to be way more on point than most people in general, but I don't mind clarifying, because I say shit purposefully. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't say that offhandedly. I say shit, back it up with facts. And if I don't know, when somebody, because I'm human, if I don't know and someone calls in and gives some different or better information, I'm totally willing to be like, well, shit, my bad. Mm-hmm. It ain't no big deal, dog. It's only a big deal if you're an ego type person that leads with like, don't you correct me, don't interrupt me, then that's an ego thing.
Yeah, and I don't have that type of
neither one of us got it.
Personality. And sometimes I'm actually better, but sometimes my default is to say I'm sorry, you know. So so I've gotten better, and I'm able to stand more firm on these things.
Damian Foster says, I wonder if anyone is tracking wasted resources. The administration has wasted so many resources, people being fired and rehired and fired again, to the farmer who, because that all costs money, to the farmer who have crops that won't be picked because they either canned U.S. aid, ended school lunch programs, or are raiding farms indiscriminately. I almost forgot about his birthday party. Insert tank wheel screeching.
And my thing about this is when I call white people's bullshit, and I know it's 100% about racism. A lot of white people always, when the Democrats are in office, they always complain about taxes. Your taxes go up no matter who's in office, y'all. No matter who's in office, they're going to find a way to take your money and do something else with it. So a lot of the shit that's been happening impacts taxpayers more than you actually helping. Like if you had these policies to help, you would see your money, your dollar stretch further. A lot of this shit, it costs more to actually fire these people. It costs more to restart these programs because we flip flop, like we go back and forth. So when you end stuff and then have to restart stuff and have to rehire stuff, or you have to pay expertise that you actually had staffed, they're gonna charge you more. Why? Because now it's a consultation fee versus them fucking being on the payroll. Like it's not the same. And the loss of money in experience, the loss of money in contacts and expertise and the things that they know and their knowledge, that shit costs taxpayers fucking billions of dollars. Where is the goddamn outrage about y'all motherfucking taxes? It's nothing but fucking racism, and you can't tell me anything different, because that's all I hear. And not trying to funny, even black people, everybody complain about taxes, but your taxes have a purpose. But like this, and if you don't like where they're going, and if you don't like what they're doing, bitch, vote and put somebody in office to make your tax dollars do what you want them to do.
And Ned says, good morning, medical bills is triggering, so sad, stay safe and well. The girl on the other side of the road says, Twitter gender war is so trash, I'm not hungry. Jason says, you love to see the party obsessing about what Epstein was doing to children sit back and be okay with burning food intended to save starving children.
Right.
Nothing but consistency from the right. That first gender wars had all the acting of an NBA player making a cameo on a TV show.
That's hilarious.
But putting a kid's life in peril was ambition you gotta respect. That British gender war was adorable. That was more like a gender hullabaloo.
Not hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo. The poll: have you ever sold stuff to a secondhand store? 66% yes, 34% no. Shout out to the 34%. Y'all living privileged lives out here. Y'all out here doing the damn
Is the
thing.
pawn shop a second-hand store?
Hell yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but then yes.
I would say so.
I pawned all types of shit when I was in college.
I used to go to the record store. I would go to Columbia House, order them CDs, and then go to the record store and sell my Columbia House CDs. That's how I learned you had to mix it up, because I'd be like, 12 Biggie CDs, that's what you pay the most for, and they'd be like, what? No, now that you're selling me 12, I'll give you 5 cents each. I'm like, fuck you. But yeah, I have sold stuff to secondhand stores 100%. All right, time to go to voicemails. Choose one of these beats real quick.
Today and you ask them what it is about music that they like, and the first thing they'll say is the beat, the beat, the beat, the beat, the beat, the beat.
All right, we only have a voicemail. We don't have any emails this week.
Oh, wow, that's different.
First time ever, I think.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, here's the voicemail that we got. And the voicemail line is, of course, in the show notes.
Hi, Rod and Karen. This is Aaron. Long-time listener. I've been listening since, 2018. I usually email, but this is the first time leaving a voicemail because I'm listening to episode 3125, FUI, and y'all were bantering about that entitled, customer with an attitude, and that made me remember a story when I was working in Target about 10 years ago in college, pre-cancellation, pre-DEI, and I was working in the electronics section, and this is when Amazon Fire Sticks were very popular, and I worked at a popular Target. And this guy comes in, he's like, oh, hey, I'm looking for a Fire Stick. I check, we have none in stock. I check the back, we have none in stock. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? No, you don't have any in stock. You're Target. I'm like, oh, okay. Does it mean we're Target, we can't run out of things? He's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm like, I can check to see if another Target nearby has any in stock. The only one in stock was on the other side of the city, which is maybe 10, 15 miles, a 20-minute drive. It was also late at night. It was 9, about 2 hours before closing. And he's like, well, and that store had about 10, 15 in stock. He's like, well, by the time I get there, they're gonna run out. I'm like, okay, Amazon Fire Sticks are popular. They're not that popular. You're gonna be able to get one. He's like, but they're gonna run out. Y'all should give me a discount before going all the way over there. I'm like, sir, it is not my problem, not my fault.
Right.
You came here and we just happened to be out of stock. That's a bad coincidence. He's like, but I should get a discount. I should get something from traveling all the way over there. I'm like, see that guy over there putting away the stuff? That's my manager. Go talk to him.
Right.
But
go talk to him.
That just shows even back then, just a lot of people have entitlement. And they think they deserve things just because everybody lives in their own world.
Yes.
But yeah, that's just remind me. Your situation reminded me of my situation when I worked at Target. Love you guys. Love the show, and I always recommend you. You're always my top podcast in my Spotify Wrapped. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, baby.
We will keep doing what we're doing. And yeah, that is wild. What just happened to I fucked up. I just don't understand how that's not in people's vocabulary. Damn,
I've ordered, and I've done the thing where I've ordered, ordered, and it was at another location. I would either cancel or just go to the other location.
I fuck up sometimes. And I just take the L. Damn, I went to the wrong place. Wasn't supposed to do that. And just, I've never been now I fucked up, but now it's your problem.
It's your problem, because
how you gonna fix that I fucked up? I'm waiting. Like, whoa, people are wild.
Yes, they are.
Like I said, no emails this week. So yeah, we out of here. That was it. I'll probably AI some commercials in here somewhere. I don't know. We didn't have enough breaks, but you guys may get some commercials at random places.
And random locations.
It is what it is. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too. Mwah.
Bye, everybody. Y'all have a good one.